Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Pubg 1.0 or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds 1.0 on the GeForce GTX 1050 2GB for FPS monitoring. This time I won't be using cam due to BattleEye, which is the anti-cheat software this game uses, so in the meantime I'll be using MSI Afterburner. And if you want to support me, there are Humble and Amazon affiliate links down in the description. So PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds 1.0 or Pubg 1.0, I'll be doing 1080p, 900p and 720p. To skip none of those sections of the video, check the description below. So first I'll show you 1080p on the G4560 to show you that it can maintain 60 frames per second without much of a problem. After that, to further show my point, I'll just show you 720p with a 60 frames per second target, which means pretty much everything on ultra except in shadows, which will be on high, and textures that will be on low due to the VRAM limit. And after that, I show you a Ryzen 3 1200 with a 3.9 GHz overclock at 1080p, then 900p and 720p, showing you first a 60 FPS configuration, which means that I'll try to get 60 frames per second by any means necessary on each of the resolutions. And then I show you a 30 FPS configuration, which means that I'll just prioritize quality over performance on 900p and 1080p, because at 720p, by just lowering one setting, I can get over 60 frames per second all the time, which is shadows. By lowering them from ultra to high, you get over 60 frames per second without a problem at all. So yeah, the game is completely playable. I'm trying the new map, and you'll see that texture quality will be on low across the whole video. That's because, well, we only have 2 GB of VRAM, and if you use over the low setting on the textures, you get just uneven frame times or stuttering. That's what I meant. So I recommend you just keep textures on low. And well, I didn't show you 1440p because it dropped below 30 frames per second very easily. So I recommend you to just stick to 1080p as the highest resolution with this card. But now I'm going to talk to you about the options menu and how these two CPUs I tested compare in this game, and the differences between 1.0 and the previous version. The most demanding thing so far, like on the previous videos, is shadows. From ultra to high, there's a huge performance difference. From high to medium, there's also a difference, but it isn't as big of a difference compared to what you get from lowering from ultra to high, so keep that in mind. Now they look pretty similar, so I recommend lowering shadows first. Foliage and view distance weren't much of a hit, but if you want to get a small performance uplift, lower foliage. Post-processing and effects used to have a huge performance hit. Now post-processing seems to make the bigger difference. It seems to affect ambient occlusion as well, and I used to put effects on very low, since when you were in a red zone just surrounded by explosions, just being close by was a huge performance hit. Now it seems that they fixed that, so effects can be on medium or high just fine if you had it on very low in the past. But yeah, not much else to say about it. The game also seems to use a little less VRAM. So for textures, I would set high for 3 or 4 GB GPUs. For 2 GB GPUs, maybe low or medium. And for more than 4 GB of VRAM, use ultra. That should be fine. Unfortunately, I couldn't test the old map as much as this one, so I just tested this new map in this video. That's because it randomly selects the map. I cannot select it by myself, and the new map has a higher chance of just showing up randomly. That's because the developers just put that into the matchmaking, so you have a higher chance of getting into the new map. But I claim that they will soon add a map selector. When that happens, I'll probably make comparisons between the two maps, but it seems that the new map runs a little better. And well, overall, I saw that the Ryzen 3 1200 was very similar in performance to the G4560. I saw very similar frame times when you're just scavenging for stuff or in the middle of a village, or just running around. The parts when I mostly saw a difference was when there were other players just close to you, or you're just being shot or shooting someone. I saw more drops in the G4560 than on Ryzen 3. Ryzen 3 instead a little more stable when you are in a battle or something. That was the biggest difference I saw between those CPUs. Overall, the performance is very similar on both of them, so you should have a good experience with any of those two CPUs. So yeah, it seems that they fixed the performance issues in the red zone or close to the red zone. The stutters that I had on the plane in the past are long gone. The lobby isn't as bad as it used to be. So yeah, overall it seems that it's running better than before. That's why I used a little higher settings compared with my previous videos on Pubg. But also remember that this map, it seems to be running a little better than the previous one. But I'll test that soon when they add the map selector. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.